was very eager to write to you about the salvation we share. I feel compelled to write and urge you to contend for the faith. Contend, that means fight for it. Fight for your life. Fight for your destiny. Fight for your future. Fight for your mind. Fight for your marriage. Fight for your family. Fight for what you believe in. Nobody's going to give it to you on a platter of gold. You've got to fight for it. So how do we fight? Where do we even begin? If you look at Ephesians 6 verse 10, what I want to urge you this morning, it says, be strong in the Lord. Ephesians 6:10, NIV version says, be strong in the Lord. That's my message to you on the 30th. It doesn't say take your strength from God. Be strong in Him. That's where the battle begins. That's where your strength comes from. In Christ. Standing in Him. Rooted in Him. Understanding that you are a son of God. That in spite of all you're going through, you are a child of God. In spite of the battles, God means well for you. Last week someone asked me, he says, I can't serve a God who's killing people globally. I said, what do you mean you can't serve a God who's killing people? He says, if there's God, why is there evil everywhere? I had to explain, excuse me, God is not the author of evil. The evil came from man. When man fell in the garden, the devil tempted Adam and Eve, they fell. And the consequence of that fall was evil. And they said, so what has God done? I said, God has done what He wants to do. He has given us Christ. So why are you blaming God for what the devil and humanity did? What God has done is giving us Christ. So you have to understand the Bible. That in giving us Christ, He gave us the person of Christ. Then gave us the principles of life in Christ. So even if you are in Christ, you've got to understand the principles of life in Christ. How to be strong in Him. How to understand the wiles of the enemy. How to understand that God has a program for your life. You have to understand how to contend for your destiny. So what am I saying to you today? You've got to be strong in God. It's in Him we live. It's in Him we move. You've got to learn to pray. You've got to learn the weapons of your warfare because you are in a battle. If you're on social media, you know that there is a war raging out there. It wants your mind. It wants your thoughts. It wants your destiny. It wants your self-esteem. And because we as Christians are not pushing the concept of you being strong in yourself, people are just complacent. You are a son. When it says be strong in the Lord, know who you are in Him. That you are a child of God. You are loved of God. You are a son of God. You are an heir of the kingdom. That God is depending on you. God is not a magician. He has given us Christ. But in Christ, we learn to pray. We learn to read the word. We learn to fast. We learn to declare. We learn to resist temptation. We learn to hold on in spite of challenges. We learn to resist temptation. We learn to move away from sin because therein lies our strength in Him.